Welcome or welcome back to Game Over Movie Reviews. My name is Peter and I have something a bit different for the channel today. Not a movie review, my first ever game review. Now movie fans, you don't have to worry, this is not going to be a change of course for the channel, nor is it likely to become a regular thing unless this video does really well. I'm a huge gamer and I've been playing games for 38 years now. Blimey. Having owned many different systems from the Spectrum 48K and 128K plus 2 with a built-in cassette player. Ah, the memories. I then moved on to the Commodore 64, the Atari ST, the classic Amiga, and then on to PlayStation 1 to 4, plus many others in between, and I'm one of the lucky few who currently own a PS5. And I'm only ever likely to review games on this channel if they really blow me away and totally grab me, and that's absolutely the case with my review today of Supergiant Games' masterpiece, Hades.
Alright, one more time.
Hades is an action roguelike based around the stories of the Greek gods. For those that don't know what a roguelike game is, the term comes from a game called Rogue, funnily enough, from 1980, when I was just 3. And these games tend to feature procedurally generated levels, gradual character upgrading, and permadeath. You die, you go all the way back to the start. Other popular games in this genre include Dead Cells, Enter the Gungeon, Spelunky, Slay the Spire, and The Binding of Isaac. And if you've played Hades or any of its contemporaries, let me know in the comments below what you think of them. Also, if there's any other games like Hades you can recommend, let me know below. And whilst you're down there, you might as well hit the like and subscribe button. So what is it that makes Hades so damn brilliant? Well, it's everything. This game excels at absolutely everything I need for a great gaming experience, particularly in this instance, perfectly pitched gameplay and a fantastically written story. You play Zagreus, Prince of the Underworld and son of Hades, who is attempting to escape the underworld to find his birth mother, Persephone, after discovering that Nyx, the goddess of the night, is actually his adopted mother. Your father Hades, king of the underworld, a grumpy curmudgeon who is clearly keeping secrets from Zagreus and others, orders his massive minions to prevent Zagreus' escape. To escape the underworld, you must battle through 4 levels, all again based on Greek myths: Tartarus, Asphodel, Elysium, and the Temple of Styx.
Few tales are told of Hades, whose very name inspires fear and penitence, reminding us of the inevitable fate which we all share.
General gameplay is in a kind of hack and slash style where at the start of each run you must pick one of 6 weapons. Each weapon has a standard attack, a special attack, plus you have a long range magic cast and a dodge. Every room you enter is filled with enemies native to that level and you must kill each to unlock the doors of this room to move on. And each room has an associated reward once you've cleared it, which you get to choose before you enter that room. Amongst these rewards are boons, the special powers granted to you by the gods of Olympus, which can increase power to your weapons, your speed, your life, etc. But the beauty of this exchange, and the game in general, is each time one of these gods, such as Artemis, Poseidon, or Athena appears, you speak to them and begin to unlock their story, their relationship to you and to other gods. When these gods appear, you can give them rewards, which you unlock through successful run-throughs, and that continually moves on their story, their bonds with you, which can increase your future powers and the overall story. And when you die, your run is over, you return to the House of Hades, where you can talk to Hades himself and other gods who reside in the house.
Well, that was interesting.
And again, you can talk to all these characters and move their story forward, sometimes getting a quest from them to fix broken romances and that kind of thing. The gameplay of Hades is an absolute joy. It's fairly hard, though other roguelikes like Dead Cells and The Binding of Isaac are much tougher. Thankfully, it's also extremely well balanced, so even though it's tough, it's always fair and never harsh. If you get hit or you die, it's always your fault. You've always missed something. Each enemy has a range of attacks which are always telegraphed and easy to learn. The difficulty comes from knowing when and how to attack and when to dodge. And this is also given massive variance from the different weapons you can choose from, which give you different ranges and powers of attack. Every level has the same boss each time you play through, and a number of randomised mini-bosses throughout the level.
May I say you look lovely this whatever time it is, Lenny.
These bosses vary a little from time to time, so you may get to learn their attacks and should gradually become more skilled at defeating them, but they can also surprise you. The end of game boss is of course the big man himself, Hades, and once you beat him you can escape the underworld, find your mom, and the story's over. Or is it? I beat Hades on my 37th run through of the game, with each loop taking between 30 and 40 minutes, and at the time of writing this review I've attempted to escape the underworld 77 times. Why? Because the story is still going and I still actually haven't fully escaped the underworld. I still haven't learned everything about each character, and I haven't finished all of their stories, and to do this I need to keep trying to escape, to earn rewards, to move on all of these stories. Now to some this might sound boring and repetitive, going through the same levels each time, and admittedly this game and games like it are not for everyone. But I'm constantly drawn back to have another run through the underworld because that gameplay loop is so amazingly rewarding and addictive. Every run through reveals something new about a character, a weapon, a relationship, or the main story itself. Plus brilliantly, the game is not the same with each run. Once you defeat Hades for the first time, you are able to increase the difficulty of each subsequent run of a particular weapon. These include more enemies, greater damage, less money rewards. Each level of difficulty for each weapon brings extra rewards on successful run-throughs, and these rewards are then used to continue each god story and the story overall. It's a brilliantly devised gameplay loop. And none of this would actually work if the story was poorly written or badly delivered, but this couldn't be further from the truth.
Been waiting long?
You'll go not one step farther past this threshold, boy.
Each god is voiced with some of the absolute best gaming voice work I've ever heard, plus what they actually say and the story itself are all written beautifully. And to add to this, after 77 run-throughs of this game and counting, I've never heard a repeated line of dialogue. That's probably around 35 hours of a game based on story-led conversations with a large cast of characters who never once repeat what they've already said. It's a phenomenal feat.
I heard about you. Look, I'm not like all the others on Olympus. The power of the hunt helped keep me company, so maybe it'll help you too.
You get to know and love all these characters, and when your hard work pays off and you get to complete one of their quests, for example reuniting estranged lovers Achilles and Patroclus, it's intensely rewarding. The writing and acting is so good, I want to play this game until everything has been resolved in the story, and what could have been a huge bind in another game of its ilk is a joy in Hades because the general loop of the gameplay is so enjoyable. So what else is good in Hades? Well, as you've seen from the videos, the art style and design is fantastic. Graphically, and I can only vouch for the PS5 version, it's flawless. It's not the most graphically intensive game of all time, far from it, but it moves with great fluidity and sharpness, and I've not noticed any glitches or slowdown or technical issues of any sort. The music is also stunningly good and plays a large part in the game. Some of the characters are musical, such as Orpheus, the court musician of Hades, and his lost love Eurydice, who you meet in the underworld, and they each sing very well performed songs during the story, which are surprisingly moving. And the background music is grand in scale and perfectly matches the action on screen. So what don't I like about Hades? Nothing. I genuinely cannot think of a single criticism of this game, not even a small nitpick. Hades is a meticulously crafted roguelike with fantastic game design, which continually draws me back into its joyous gameplay loop in order to progress a story which has some of the very best writing and vocal work I've ever seen in gaming. This is a perfect game. My score for Hades, you're not going to be surprised by this, it's a 10 out of 10. Thanks for watching.
Game over, man. It's game over.